I have just bought the cheapest 2002 low mileage Porsche 911 in the country. Please welcome to my channel my Porsche 911 996 Gen 2 with just 70,000 miles on the clock.
Everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal, you can...
If you've followed my channel for a long time, you'll probably remember that I was an owner previously of a 2005 911 997, until it went horribly wrong. Yes, I fell foul to the bose score issue and needed to get my engine rebuilt at a huge cost. After that, I lost faith in 911s and I swore I would never get one again. Until now. When I saw this car for sale, at the price I was selling it, I just couldn't resist buying it. Stay tuned till later when I'll do a price reveal how much I paid for it. You won't believe it. The Porsche 911 996 was manufactured from 1997 until 2006. It was replaced by the 997 in 2004, but production continued on the Turbo S, the GT2 and the GT3 until 2006. The 996 goes down in history as being the first water-cooled engine Porsche on the market. The development of the 996 was shared with the entry-level 986 Boxster, which actually went on sale shortly before the 911 variant. The same parts were used for the front suspension, various interior components and the engine, which was enlarged for the 996. But the rear multi-link suspension came from the previous 993, as did the 6-speed manual transmission, albeit revised. This was all done to save money, as Porsche at the time was facing financial difficulties. Other major 911 design changes included a sleeker body with a more raked windscreen and redesigned interior along with the new fried egg shaped headlamps, which didn't go down well with the potential buyers. This new 911 was initially available in a coupe or a convertible, with rear wheel drive and later with 4-wheel drive, utilising a 3.4 litre flat 6 engine generating a maximum power output of 296 horsepower. In 2000, the power output of the base Carrera model was increased to 300 horsepower. The 996 had the same front end as the Boxster, but after many requests from the 911 Carrera owners about their premium cars looking like a lower price car, Porsche redesigned the headlamps of the Carrera in 2002 as the standard models underwent a facelift. Engine capacity was increased to 3.6 litres across the range, yielding gains of 15 horsepower for the naturally aspirated models. Also in 2002, the Carrera 4S model was first introduced. The C4S shares the wide body look of the 911 Turbo as well as the brakes and suspension, and is also 4-wheel drive. The 996 model is equipped with those 3.4 litre and later on the 3.6 litre engines produced between 1998 and 2005, and known for some mechanical issues including problems with the rear main seal or RMS, cylinder cracking, slipped sleeves, bore scoring and lastly the intermediate shaft or IMS bearing. The most well known of these issues is that of the IMS, which is the subject of the Essen class action lawsuit.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
IMS failure rates up to 8% were disclosed during the discovery process, and Porsche lost the lawsuit and had to pay around $1 million in costs. But even today, the 911 996 variant is still a much sought after car. And this car just gets better. I've previously been in touch with a previous owner who owned it up to 2018, and he looked after it and gave it everything that it needed doing via a Porsche specialist. In fact, he went a little bit further. Let me show you. He added these genuine Porsche Sports Classic wheels. He had a 996 GT3 carbon fibre rear wing installed. He also had a full body respray done to Voila Metallic, I think that's how you say it. He installed stainless steel downpipes and exhaust system. and a doubled-in Apple CarPlay enabled head unit. Although this doesn't come on, so I need to maybe do something for that. In fact, he spent about £80,000 on bringing this car up to the spec that he wanted. But that brings me on to the bad points, and if you haven't already guessed it, yes, this car is not perfect. This car is a crash damage, category N for non-structural. Let me show you what's wrong with it. It's going to need a new front bumper and all the parts that come with it, because I never even got the old one in the deal. And it's going to need a new offside wing or fender, because this is slightly damaged. A new sill and a new door. Now this door could possibly be repaired, but the amount of work involved to do that and the cost, as this door is exactly the same on the Boxster, there's so many of these available second-hand on eBay that I may as well just replace the door. It's also got a flat tyre, and I think I've got a radiator leak as well. But the very first job on this car is to get this puncture fixed, because I can't move it around with a flat tyre like that. So let's get this wheel off, get it into a tyre shop and get it fixed. So to get access to the wheel, I'm going to have to just move the car back a bit so I can get the jack underneath and give me a bit more gap between the side and the fence. And that means firing the car up. Now, I don't know what's going on here, but it looks to me like the silencers have been removed, or they've done a silencer delete on this car. Now, when you fire it up, it sounds absolutely awful. Listen to this. There is no way you could drive this car around sounding like that. That sounds absolutely awful. That's another job on my list to fix. Come on, wheel. Yeah, luckily I found the locking wheel nut, so that's good. But don't you just hate these stupid covers that they put on wheel bolts? Just buy some decent wheel bolts, people. Anyway, good news, look at this. This disc, absolutely hardly anywhere on it at all, and the pads look almost new. And I think these have been done recently as well. That's good. In fact, under here, looks absolutely immaculate. So I just took the tyre to the tyre shop and they spotted it instantly, but I don't know how I missed this. Look at this. It's had a big gouge out of there. What do you think that is, guys? You think like a forklift truck has come through and the fork's just gone straight into there and punctured it while they're trying to pick it up, or something stupid? I don't know, but this tyre is useless. So I'm going to have to order another one and get a new tyre for this. In the meantime, if you didn't know, these guys come with a spare wheel. Let me show you that. So inside the front here, we have a spare wheel, which is about the width of a push bike tyre. But I'm only going to be using this for moving it up and down my drive and getting it in the garage, so that should be fine until I get the other tyre fixed. Let's get this on. So that meant I had to free this spare wheel, which is it's no quick job. It's a lot of messing around. And that's unusual, guys. Look at this. I've got the full toolkit. I've got the emergency triangle. I've got the jack and the handle. I've got everything. That's unusual when you get a car like this that's been wrecked, because people usually take all those things out of it. That brings me on to what am I going to do with this car? Yeah, I could just buy those panels and build it back to stock, but no, that's not me, is it? Just like Joe Biden and our British government said, I'm going to build back better.
Folks, it's time to build back better.
To build back better.
So stay tuned to this channel to watch this series, because I think you're going to really enjoy what I'm going to do with this car. And if that doesn't deserve a subscribe and a thumbs up, I don't know what does. Oh yes, as for the price, I paid £10,000 for this car delivered to me, which I think is a bargain. Because if you take a look on Auto Trader for any Gen 2s with 70,000 miles on, you're looking at about 25 grand for this car. And the extras I've got with this far outweigh that price. So that's it for this video, guys, and if you really want to know what I do with this car, then don't forget to subscribe to this channel and give me the thumbs up for this video. Surely it's worth that, because this is going to be quite interesting how this car hopefully turns out when I have finished with it. Once again, guys, thanks for watching. Until the next time, stay safe.